What if fairies, but crime? This is Long Story Short, and we're recapping the action-packed first episode of Carnival Row. Spoiler alert, we're about to spoil the whole first episode. This is Cara Delevingne. Vignette Stone Moss. Fairy with rat tail. And she's the toughest fairy around. How do I know that? Well, her tough fairy rat tail, of course. Anyway, she's on the run from the bad guys with guns and dogs. Bad. And yes, Vignette can karate fly. Thank you very much. Yeah, girl, kill that dog. So Vignette survives the attack and manages to get passage on a boat to a place called the Burg. But the boat has other plans, like sinking. Yeah, not a good day for her or the rat tail, really. We'll check back in. Cut 2. Orlando Bloom with short hair? Twist.
What's your hurry, love? Come up and see me.
This Orlando Bloom is named Rycroft Philostrate for long, Philo for short. The steampunk names in this show are extremely on point, and he's in the Carnival Row neighborhood of the Burg, a place where humans and mythical creatures live in sorta kinda harmony. And Philo is like, no, I have Orlando Bloom things to do. Inspector Philo came to Carnival Row because he's investigating a recent series of attacks on fairies.
I hate to ask you to relive this, I know it's painful. But this man is still out there, hunting innocent fae folk. Every 3 weeks, another one. It's been 3 weeks since your attack. He's gonna do it again. We have to stop him.
Say what you will about this serial criminal, but he values punctuality more than the lives of other people. We have no choice but to stand. Meanwhile, across town, a group of old-timey looking children find all the dead bodies from the boat washed ashore. Have a nice day at school, kids. Enjoy the trauma that will haunt you every time you close your eyes forever. But who survived but Vignette? And her rat tail made it too. And here we have Constable Breakspear. Damn, Jared Harris is in everything. When did he last see his kids? As well as his wife Piety, their pet Bear, which is a real statement, and their hot, moody, edgy-looking son Jonah.
And where have you been?
Out with friends,
All night.
it would seem.
Not on Carnival Row, I trust.
Shut up, Mom. I've got to go make my music. Over at the Steampunk Police Department, the steampunk cops are questioning Vignette because she committed the crime of surviving a boat accident. They do not question the rat tail. The steampunk cops decide her punishment is working as a maid for rich blondes, which, ew.
Taking in an unfortunate such as yourself is the least we can do. You'll need to clean your nails before you serve me tea again.
Whatever, rich blonde, survive a boat accident and get back to me. Philo's main clue in his investigation is that the guy attacking fairies is bald and has mutton chops. So he goes to the bald guy with mutton chops support group, or whatever this is, to see if anyone sticks out. And this bald guy with mutton chops, who is a cop, does stick out.
I wouldn't blame a lad for going a little heathen. No proper women around, just all those beggared tinks, happy to spread for a shiny Burgish stiver. I heard it's like sticking your into a pail of greasy ferrets. Is that true?
Orlando Bloom does not like when you talk about his friends in the greasy ferret community like that, so he punches Mutton Chop Cop. Mutton Cop? We're gonna go with Mutton Cop.
So Vignette's hanging out at her new job with her new friend, and her new friend does touch her rat tail. She's like, whose rat tail is this? And Vignette's like, it's Orlando Bloom's. And her friend is like, oh my God, why? And she's like, well, he's dead. And her friend's like, no, he's not. He lives around here. And Vignette is so pissed.
Over at the Steampunk Police Department, Philo has to answer for punching Mutton Cop over the whole greasy ferrets debacle. But the officer is kind of like, whatever, Mutton Cop sucks. He didn't send me a card when my grandson was born. And then, different steampunk cop shows up and gives Philo the lead he's been waiting for.
Basilisk is in port. They keep them out there in that tin can for weeks until they're half mad. They're back home to let off some steam.
Sounds like a bloody nightmare.
It sure is. Mine. Every 3 weeks.
3 weeks. The very punctual fairy assaulter strikes every 3 weeks. Good inspecting, Philo, even though you sort of just overheard it. No, you know what? Let's give it to him, guys. Point for Philo. Meanwhile, the Chancellor's son, Edgy Jonah, is at a fairy brothel having levitating sex. Don't you love when a fantasy show just suddenly gets horny? You're like, whoa, but then you're like, nice. Anyways, Jonah has to pee after the sex because he doesn't want a UTI and he's no fool. Except he is, because he goes out to the balcony to pee. But before he can go, Pee-Pee Jonah gets kidnapped. Over at the Steampunk Sailor Saloon, Philo finds the bald, mutton-chopped attacker and gets hit in the face with a hammer. But he's fine! No hammer shall sully the face of Orlando Bloom on a mission, you fools! And now, a chase scene in 4 parts. Climbing, parkour, slippy dippies, and a super dramatic rooftop monologue from a suspect we've known for 2 seconds.
It's done!
Done. It's just beginning. I know darkness. I've been to the twilight edge of the world and dredged up things from the sun's deep that turn your blood cold. But nothing like the thing I saw in the dark beneath our very feet. There's more here than you can fathom. Some dark god. Wait.
I don't know who this character is, but like, good for him. He's like, yeah, here's some exposition. I'm jumping off a building. See ya. Later that night, Philo comes home to find his landlord horny. Classic.
Your head. Hello. Someone threw a hammer at me, you know how it goes.
And also, there was this old-timey sailor guy who was saying something about dark forces and then jumped off a building. Anyways, how are you? But Philo doesn't tell her this because he's like super dark and broody and pushes the women in his life away. Who hurt you, my boy? Oh my god, Vignette and her rat tail hurt you. Philo, where do you stand on the rat tail? Are you guys cool?
You're alive.
In any case, Vignette and Philo's relationship ended with a little miscommunication.
She said you died in her arms.
And we're like, oh my god, kiss or stab each other. But then, Vignette cuts Philo with something sharper than a knife. Her truth.
I wish you had died.
And to bring it all home, we see a woman find a flute next to the sewer and put it in her mouth. What is going on with the hygiene in Carnival Row? This is like basic stuff. Anyways, she gets eaten by a monster and never learns her lesson about hygiene. The end. And that's the first episode of Carnival Row. Like talking about Amazon originals and the hair decisions of fairies in them as much as I do? Leave a comment on what you want me to recap next and tune in to Long Story Short Saturdays.